Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Rabbit and Red Reviews. Eric here, and today, taking a look, Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. This is their single barrel release from Wild Turkey. So, before we get into the nose, the taste, and the finish, I'll tell you a little bit about the value and give you a final score. First, tell you a little bit about this bourbon. So, this is a non-age statement bourbon. It is bottled at 50.5% ABV or 101 proof. On the neck here, it does provide some information about the bottle itself. It says this bourbon whiskey was bottled on, looks like January 30th, 2017 from barrel 466. So you get a barrel number, bottling date, stored in warehouse D on Rick number 4, selected for the bourbon connoisseur. Okay, there you go. So this version is actually a store pick, but this is a readily available bourbon that you can get. And to be honest, kind of flies a little bit under the radar. You know, Wild Turkey 101 is probably what they're best known for. One of the most famous bourbon distilleries coming out of Kentucky. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky is where Wild Turkey is located. And then you also have some of their other kind of famous releases, like the Wild Turkey Rare Breed, which is their full proof. You also have the Russell's Reserve line, which includes bourbon and rye, which are all really good stuff. It's kind of more of a small batch, selected releases that they do. And then there's just a bunch of other Wild Turkey releases as well that are a bit on the higher end. So Kentucky Spirit's one that kind of flies a little bit under the radar. You don't hear as much about it. But we're going to take a look at this today, and I'm going to give you a sense of whether or not this unappreciated bourbon is one you should keep an eye out for. Okay, so like all bourbons, this is completely natural colored, as U.S. law prohibits the coloring of bourbons. So if you want to take a look, well, this is a non-age statement. Pretty good color, pretty dark. Okay, let's get into it. So, starting off with the nose. I mean, if I was going to put it in one word, it's excellent. It's very fruity, cherry red apple, standing up right away on the nose here. Also getting vanilla, kind of almost like a slight cedar note, a little bit of the oak barrel as well. Heavy spices too. Cinnamon and clove are the ones that I'm picking up the most here. And a bit of caramel. I mean, it smells delicious. Okay, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Really full, really viscous. Initially on the palate, creamy vanilla. You get a cherry, like a cherry cola note almost. Yeah, it's more than just cherry. It's like a cherry cola, almost like you're drinking cherry Coke to some degree. Not overpowering, but then you really get the oak barrel asserting itself. Got some woodiness, some spiciness. There's a little bit of a smoke kind of woven through it as well. Kind of mixing with that barrel char off the oak barrel, but really good. As it kind of leads into the finish. The finish is, you know, short to medium, closer to the medium side, and cinnamon, sugar, and vanilla really dominate the finish here. There's also some heat, and it's not heat like an alcohol ethanol burn. It's like a chili spice to some degree. It kind of leaves the tongue a little bit tingling. There's a little bit of mint. And then what I notice in almost all Wild Turkey products is that kind of signature syrupy sweet, almost cotton candy type flavor. I didn't pick it up as much on the nose, but it's definitely here on the finish. It's like cotton candy, or is it like juicy fruit gum? Remember that stuff? It's awesome. And you know, as it finishes off, it's a little bit of sour as well. It's pretty good stuff. I'm gonna put a little water on it and see what happens. So this is at 50.5% ABV, so I don't want to put too much in here. There it is. Okay. So now with a little bit of water, I'm getting that kind of cotton candy. I picked that cotton candy note up a lot on the Russell's stuff, even more so than the Wild Turkey. The Russell's Reserve 10-year-old bourbon and the single barrel bourbon, it's almost even more heavy than it is in this. Here it's a little bit more in the background. Yeah, the cherry, also that red apple is sticking out a lot more here on the nose. I think the water is really bringing the fruit notes forward here. The additional water, much sweeter on the taste. It's almost like you put a sugar cube in it or something. Sugar really kicks up. Not in a bad way, but it's definitely a lot sweeter. And the finish, still pretty short. Getting a little more of a chocolate, a mint chocolate kind of thing going on. Okay. All right. So if you want to take a peek again, this is what the bottle looks like. It's a pretty unique looking bottle, to be honest. If they're kind of trying to go for a turkey look here or something like that, it seems like what they're doing. Really thick glass, heavy. You can find a bottle of this, 50 to 60 bucks, which I think is actually is pricey. It's pricey for a single barrel bourbon, especially when you think about things like Four Roses single barrel, which you can get for 35 to 40, which is also really great. Also, it's bottled at 50% as well. Really fantastic single barrel. The Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve, you can get for 35 to 40, which is bottled at 60% ABV. This one just seems like, knock another 10, 15 bucks off this price. And I would say this is a value buy, but right now, this is coming in pretty high. Okay, so final thoughts here. I mean, overall, I think this is a great single barrel bourbon. It's really great sipping. It's quite relaxed. It's quite balanced. I think fans of Wild Turkey stuff in general would be pleased with this, but that finish is a little bit lacking. And given the choice between this, I think, and the higher ABV Wild Turkey Rare Breed, which comes in at about the same price, I think that's a little bit better. I would probably just go in that direction. I just think it's got a little more happening than this kind of more relaxed counterpart, but this is by no means a bad bottle. I just think that the average price you find this for, it's just going to be a little bit too much for what you're getting out of this, especially compared to other things on the market. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5, which is I definitely recommend trying it or picking up a bottle of this at a good price. All right, y'all. So that's my review of Wild Turkey Rare Breed, and I'll catch you next time here on Rabbit and Red Reviews. Cheers.